we begin, I want to ask you something. When was the last time someone unexpectedly knocked at your door? Not to sell you something or to deliver a package, but just because they wanted to see you? For a lot of us, it's been a long time. And here's the strange part. We have smartphones, video calls, Facebook, text messages, Instagram, FaceTime. More ways to communicate than any generation in history. Yet somehow, so many people, especially as we get older, have never felt more alone. If you've ever sat in a house that suddenly felt too quiet, if you've ever looked around and wondered where everyone went, this video is for you. Hi friends, I'm Kat, that 70s gal, and welcome back to Purple Bell Bottoms. Today I want to talk to you about something that's affecting millions of people, and yet not enough people are talking about it. Loneliness. Not the kind where you're alone for an afternoon. I'm talking about that quiet loneliness that can sneak up on you without even realizing it. And I think something changed. When I was growing up in the 60s and 70s, people weren't necessarily happier because life was easier. Life wasn't easier. Cars broke down, money was tight. Most families had one bathroom. Air conditioning wasn't everywhere. But there was something that we had that seems much harder to find today. People. Real people. Back then, communication wasn't something you held in your hand. It was something you experienced face to face. If you wanted to see someone, you went to see them. You'd ride your bike over to a friend's house. You'd knock on the door, and sometimes they'd be home. Sometimes they wouldn't. And somehow, that uncertainty made the visit even more exciting. On summer evenings, people actually sat on their porches. Parents talked while kids chased lightning bugs or played tag until the streetlights came on. You knew your neighbors. You knew whose dog got loose every other Tuesday. You knew who baked the best chocolate cake. You knew who needed help after surgery. And when someone new moved to the neighborhood, someone usually showed up with cookies, or a casserole, or a smile and a handshake. Remember Welcome Wagon? Imagine that today. Someone knocks on your door with a little basket and says, "Hi, we're glad you're here." We didn't think anything of it back then. Today, it almost sounds unusual. I think somewhere along the way, convenience quietly replaced community. Not all at once, little by little. Think about work. For many people today, working from home has been a wonderful blessing. No commute, more flexibility, but there's something that quietly disappeared. Those little conversations, talking in the break room, laughing with coworkers, walking someone out to their car after work, the birthday cake in the conference room, tiny moments that reminded us that we belong somewhere. Then there's food. Remember when going out for dinner actually meant going inside? You'd wait for a table. You'd talk to other people in line while waiting. You'd see neighbors. Maybe you'd run into someone you hadn't seen in years. Now, drive-through, mobile orders, pick-up shelf. You can eat an entire meal without speaking to another human being. It's efficient, but it isn't connecting. Even movies changed. A friend would call and say, "Want to go see that new movie?" The movie wasn't even the best part. It was driving there together, buying popcorn, talking afterwards. Years later, Blockbuster came along. Even renting a movie meant walking the aisles, reading the back of VHS tapes, asking someone, "Have you seen this one?" Half the fun was deciding. Now, thousands of movies are sitting on our television. We don't even have to leave the couch. Technology gave us more choices, but it quietly took away another reason to see people. Shopping used to feel different too. Sometimes you'd run into 3 people you knew just buying groceries. Conversations happened naturally. Now I notice something. So many people are looking down on their phones. Sometimes I want to say hello, but I don't want to interrupt whatever's happening on that little screen. And I wonder how many people are thinking the exact same thing. One thing I especially miss is church, the way I remember it. Of course we went for worship, but we also stayed afterward. People talked. Kids ran around. Someone invited you over for coffee. Or maybe there was a church picnic, a barbecue, a potluck dinner where everyone brought way too much food. Friendships didn't happen because someone scheduled them. They happened because people lingered. Nobody was rushing off to the next notification. Here's something I've noticed as I've gotten older. Loneliness doesn't always come because people leave. Sometimes it comes because routines disappear. The kids grow up, retirement comes, co-workers move away, parents pass on, friends relocate, your calendar slowly empties. And unless we're intentional, our world quietly gets smaller. I saw this while working at an assisted living community. One resident might have 3 children who love them dearly. They'd call, they'd text, they'd FaceTime. But you know what often made the biggest difference in their week? Someone sitting beside them, sharing a cup of coffee, laughing together over absolutely nothing. Human beings are wired for presence, not just communication. Presence. Now, before we blame technology for everything, that's not really fair. I love that I can video chat with family. I love reconnecting with old classmates online. Social media can be wonderful. It helps us stay informed. It helps us stay connected. But here's what I've learned. Keeping in touch isn't the same as spending time together. One feeds information, the other feeds the heart. So, what can we actually do about it? Because sitting around wishing we could go back to 1974 probably isn't going to work. Although I wouldn't mind hearing a few more AM radio stations. So here's what I think. If you're lonely, don't wait for somebody else to rescue you. Become the person who creates connection. That can feel scary, especially if you're an introvert like me. Believe me, I understand. But every friendship starts because somebody made the first move. If you have a church nearby, try attending regularly. Not just the service, stay afterward. And talk to one person, just one. Or join a group built around something you enjoy. Gardening, bird watching, photography, walking, painting, books. If you like it, somebody else probably does too. Facebook can actually help here. Instead of scrolling endlessly, use it to find local groups, or even start one. Imagine a group simply called Coffee and Conversation. You'd be surprised how many people are looking for the exact same thing. Another idea I love is something I call finding target-rich environments. Go where people gather naturally. The local garden center, the library, the farmer's market, a walking trail, a coffee shop. The same place over and over. Because here's the secret. Friendships don't usually happen the first time. They happen when people recognize you. Oh, I've seen you before. That's how conversations begin. Years ago, neighbors became friends because they kept seeing each other, not because they had perfect conversation starters. Familiarity creates comfort. Comfort creates friendships. I know there are people right now watching this who feel very alone. Maybe you've lost your spouse. Maybe your children live far away. Maybe retirement wasn't what you imagined. Maybe everyone around you seems busy living their own lives. I want you to hear this. Your story isn't over. There are still people you haven't met who will be grateful that you walked into their life. The world may have changed, but people haven't. Deep down, we all want the same things we've always wanted: to be seen, to be known, to belong. Maybe that's something our generation can teach the younger ones. That convenience is wonderful, but community is priceless. Sometimes the richest moments in life happen when we put the phone down. Look someone in the eye, smile, and simply say, "How are you today?" You never know. That simple conversation might be something both of you needed. If this video reminded you of the neighborhood you grew up in, or someone you miss, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Tell us about the neighbor everybody loved, the church potlucks, the porch conversations, or the friend that always knocked on your door without calling first. Who knows, your story might remind someone that they're not alone. If you enjoyed spending a little time together today, I'd be honored if you'd subscribe and join our little Purple Bell Bottoms community. Around here, we celebrate the best parts of the past while helping each other live well today. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember, sometimes the smallest conversation can change someone's entire day. Peace out.